what are you waiting for? Okay. So I went to have my test, and that's when my blood was anemic. And then I still waited another 6 months before I actually went to the specialist.
Wow.
So,
mate, well done. Well done for doing it, eh?
Yeah. But what's really good for me is I've now got the finishing part to my life story that brings me up in the here and now. Because I sense that my mission going forward will be for men in the late 50s, early 60s, getting them to finally address their life purpose, which is also taking care of their health so they can give out the wealth, their commonwealth of information. But you've got to take care of your health. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to.
Absolutely. Totally right.
So that's good. Apart from that, my studies are going great. I'm loving my studies. And unlike my MBA, I know what I'm talking about and writing about. I'm doing very well there. So life is good, mate. And then, as I said, when I saw that document, which I picked up on my course, I thought of you in as much as, I know you on top of it. You're a busy guy. You're building a business. You're building your career, and actually probably living your purpose. But I just wanted to say, amongst all your business, is Steve Bolton really taking care of himself? Really taking care of himself. Not for his wife, not for his family, not for PPP, not for his business colleagues, but really for Steve Bolton. They're really taking care of himself.
Yeah, fantastic. No, thank you for sending it. And I didn't read the whole thing, but I read the first couple of chapters. Really liked it. Really powerful stuff in there. And I think I've had some other. Every time we sort of speak, we seem to have like a break. I think the last time we had a good chat. You got into running and I got into running, and we were all, all about health and that kind of thing. And I've had some. It's been an interesting year. I won't say it's not been without stress, because there's been quite a bit of stress throughout this year. But I've also had some massive breakthroughs as well, where in a practical business sense, Brexit has had an impact on PPP, the recruitment of partners. It's had an impact on the business partner, the e-commerce franchise. So definitely both businesses are down in terms of recruitment of new partners, which is, comes with its own, it's relative, it's first world problems, right? We're both solid businesses and safe and secure and a great team of people, but it's just meant some kind of emergency stuff has needed to be dealt with. Coming up to London, I'm absolutely loving, really enjoying the vibe. We've gone from, what do we have? 3 staff in March. We've now got 16 full-time employees in the offices. So that's been growing. Really, again, loving that side of things. But the 3 big ones for me, Kriss, are I've kind of got 3 life goals, because you remember when we were at Juicy Oasis in February, and I said I want to mentor 1 million people. I'd achieved the PPP thing after 10, 11 years building it. It worked, having franchise partners as shareholders. So the John Lewis kind of vision. And I probably spent, I would say, 18 months to 2 years thinking, shit, what's next? I've kind of done that. And that was, that was a big thing. And I'm still passionate about it, still involved with it, still mentor the team, still see lots of partners. So it's probably taken me to, literally in the last month, I've got real clarity as to what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. And it's 3 things. The first thing is doing, Gary Vaynerchuk. People that are on, you've seen Gary Vaynerchuk stuff online. Yeah, Gary V. Yeah. So it's that without as much swearing, but basically being an influencer, basically a virtual mentor, in the way that Think and Grow Rich was, a seminal book of the last century about success and life and principles and those sorts of things. What I think we are definitely living through a revolution where the way people consume content now is just completely different. The number of millennials that actually buy a book, and I mean 90% of people don't even read past page 60 now of a book. So actually so what Gary Vee is doing, he's almost, the way I liken him, he's almost the Napoleon Hill of the 21st century. he's putting stuff out there, content. Now it's a bit brash and it's American and it's, you know, a lot of swearing. So he'll turn a lot of people off. But the stuff you do and the stuff I do and the stuff I'm passionate about, I'm doing a lot more, and I'm building a team around me, and I've got a goal or a vision to become the UK version of Gary Vee. Okay, the British version of Gary Vee, but the Steve Bolton version of Gary Vee. I'm not going to copy him. The bit I am going to copy is how he uses all the social media platforms, the different content, the way he documents certain parts of his life, the way he's very open about the things he's done well, the things he's done badly, to inspire people all over the globe. So I want to reach millions of people and add value. I call it the 3 I's. It's for inspiration, for impact, and for influence. Okay, so the more people that I've got, so that's a firm goal and a firm commitment. And it's great as well, because it's a legacy for my kids as well. You know, it's like Charlie, who's 16, just left school. He's actually doing an internship, so he's following me around with a camera and doing some of the editing, and so he's listening to some of my motivational messages. You know, it's like one of the great benefits of it is I'm actually mentoring my son, but he's being paid as an intern to actually film me, but it's all going in, right? And he's meeting, you know, he'll meet you one day, and he's meeting some really inspirational people and sitting in on meetings. And so it's, you know, it feeds back in really nicely to my family goals and that sort of stuff. The second one is to help end homelessness. And it's been done in Finland. It's been done in 7 cities in America. You know, the solution exists. Crisis, the charity, have taken it on as their major goal for the next decade. It's what their stated objective is. They want to end homelessness. So I'm working with the CEO of Crisis and all the CEOs of the big landlord associations. And I was on the phone just before this call with the CEO of Generation Rent. And a bit like, I remember the tenant tax thing that I did, where I took the government to the High Court. What I essentially did there was I united I built a coalition of all the landlord associations, that even though they should support their competition, they don't really work together. And so what I'm trying to do now is cross the divide and say, okay, well, I've got all the landlords and letting associations together. Now let's get some of the tenant associations together and the homelessness charities. So I'm just trying to build a coalition and help Crisis achieve their goal. So that's a journey that will take a long time, that I'm documenting it. I'm looking at selling my 20 properties potentially for homeless, so they can be used for homeless people. You know,
oh wow!
People, So sort of shifting the model a little bit to just say, and it might be some of them, it might be all of them, it might be none of them, because what you need is a housing provider that can provide all the support services, the counselling, the coaching, help with drugs, help with getting a job, writing a CV. You need that support. It's not just about, you put a homeless person in a house, it's not going to solve their problem, right? No. They got homeless in the first place for a reason, and 50% of homeless, 50 to 80% of homeless people have mental health issues. So there's some underlying issues there. So helping to end homelessness is a long-term sort of goal that I have. And then the final one is, have you ever heard of the Giving Pledge by Bill and Melinda Gates and Warren Buffett? Came up with it in 2012.
I know the names of those guys, but I don't know the pledge.
Yeah, the pledge. Okay, so the Giving Pledge, what they basically did is they said, we are going to pledge at least, or the majority of our wealth, so at least 51% of our wealth is going to be pledged in our lifetime or when we die to good causes. Okay. And they then got other billionaires, and you have to be a billionaire to join the club. So there's now, I think, 187 billionaires. That is so inspirational, right? You should go. One of the most inspirational things I've done in the last 3 years is go on the Giving Pledge website. Okay. And on the homepage is the letter. Each billionaire has to write a 1 or 2 page letter about why they're doing it. Why have they signed up to the pledge? And some of them were already committed to giving most of their wealth away. But it was just like, let's inspire, let's create a community of billionaires who have made money, have done very well, who want to give back. And rather than being quiet about it, let's inspire other people to do the same thing, So actually, so essentially I applied in 2014 to join the club. I'm not a billionaire, obviously.
Not yet. We know where you're going. We know where you're going, Stevie.
I'm not sure I ever will be or want to be, actually. I'm not sure I can cope with the responsibility. And I tend to give too much of it away anyway. but I was rejected, you know. And so when you're worth a few bob and you get rejected and you can't join a club, that doesn't normally happen.
No, exactly. I'm not used to that rejection letter.
Exactly. It's like, what do you mean you won't have me? Not bloody good enough. So anyway, so at the time I thought, wouldn't it be a good idea to set up a version of the Giving Pledge? So I've emailed Bill Gates, I've hit him up on LinkedIn. I'm not expecting a reply yet, but I'm in the process of building a website with the working title of the Giving Promise, okay, which is pretty much the same as the Giving Pledge, but the main difference being it's for multimillionaires. So it's that next level down, right? Because there's a lot more of them. Okay, a lot of them, because I think, you know, you go back to human needs and all the psychology stuff that you love and I love, and Maslow and all that sort of stuff. You know, when you get to that self-actualization point and you have enough wealth, I mean, how much money do you need, right? You want enough for yourself, right? You don't want to run out of money. You don't want to die with too much money. You want to make sure your kids and future generations are sorted, you know. Can't take any of it with you. You don't want to give your kids too much money because that will spoil them, and you know, research shows they get into drink and drugs and get lazy and all those sorts of things, right? So there is an amount of wealth that I think Charles, you remember Charles Handy, the author?
Yes.
Charles Handy. So he wrote a great book, had a really big impact on me, and I actually met him a few times as well, called The Hungry Spirit. And basically what he talked about is human beings, we have a hungry spirit, you know, we have a spirit that says, I want more, I want more, I want more. It's that progression, even, you know, it's almost, you know, wherever you come with it from, whether it's evolution or whatever, we have an innate drive within us to improve and to develop. And not everybody achieves what they want to and that kind of thing, but that pursuit of more, and that feeds ego, it feeds greed, you know, there's a lot of drivers that go in there. But what he was basically saying is actually, you know, yes, you have a hungry spirit, but how much is enough? His key question in that book was how much is enough? And so that was a question I played. How much is enough? You know, I don't want to be a billionaire. Why don't I want to be a billionaire? Because actually, for me personally, I think it gives out the wrong message. Even if you had it and you gave it all away. There's a lovely book, actually. Chuck Feeney, I think his name was, called The Billionaire Who Wasn't. Okay, so this is the guy who could have been a billionaire, but he just gave it away. You know, as fast as he made it, he was giving it away. And so that's kind of my philosophy. But me actually coming out, and I've made the Giving Promise, I'm, you know, first person to do it, is to say, and so I want to create a website similar to what they've done. And basically, I've publicly committed to giving away the majority of my wealth in my lifetime. And I'm just in the process of changing my will at the moment to reflect that. And I want to inspire other multimillionaires to do the same thing. Wow. And say, you know, how much is enough?
What's a multimillionaire? I mean, £1 million is not a lot of money, but so what's a multimillionaire?
Well, I mean, I guess anybody, it could be a millionaire, multimillionaire, but I think the conversation, it's been quite, I like your view on it actually, because it's been quite interesting talking to different people, because there doesn't necessarily need to be a cap on it, right? Anybody could sign up to do this. But what I've found with most people I've spoken to is like, you know, if generally speaking, if people are worth 5 or 10 million, then they seem to be a lot more receptive to it. If somebody's worth like £1 million, they're sort of thinking, well, actually, you know, some of that's probably in my house or some of the other assets that I've got. I've got a couple of kids. I want to make sure they've got, you know, they're going to have a house each. I might live for another 20, 30 years. What if I go into a retirement home, all of that sort of thing. So it might, you know, that might be one thing that I change. It might be open-ended to anybody that wants to sign up to the Giving Pledge is able to do so. But I'm
listening to you, Steve. Obviously, I'm thinking about myself. I do think. I mean, I think 5-10 million is minimum, because I think my experience is £1 million, £2 million. It sounds a lot of money to somebody who hasn't got it. Yeah. But when you've got it, especially if half of it is in property, it doesn't last long. You know, it doesn't last long. You know, in 2008, I probably had, you know, sort of 500, 600 grand cash.
Yeah.
But once a phone call stopped coming, it's amazing how quickly you was eating into it and thinking, shit. You know, if you spend 10, 15 grand a month, then, you know, you probably need to be earning 300, 400, 500 to continue developing wealth, to be growing wealth. And if you spend 150 and you earn 200, you've got nothing. So what I'm trying to say is, I would say you would need to, I would need to feel, actually, I've got 5, 6, 7 years covered. I know that I can see an income stream come from somewhere, and I know that I'm not going to let my children down. I think you're right. Nobody wants to let their children down, do you? You don't want to let your children down. You know that you can set them up so that when you go, you know, they can get a house, they can start a career, you know, and that's it. So anyway, I mean, that's just my thought as you was talking. I was thinking, well, would I want to join? And the answer is no. I know I'm nowhere near there. And I'm worth a couple of million. Well, you know, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think it'll be different. So that's why in my mind it's like, okay, well, if I do it for multimillionaires, because the other thing with that, right, is then I just imagine a PPP, but it's a community of multimillionaires that are all about philanthropy, and they've all, rather than saying we're going to build a property portfolio, it's like, no, we're going to give the majority of our wealth away to good causes. And then that group, I mean, the Giving Pledge, they meet on a regular, they have like an annual conference, and they have different speakers, and you know, and so I have a vision of 1 million multimillionaires in signing up to the Giving Promise, and it actually being, you know, we both like competition, right? In certain ways, it's like drive things. So I want to beat Gates and Buffett, and actually have more people, more money, more wealth giving, you know, more people signed up to that in my lifetime. So, and then, you know, I've got a few people that I want to collaborate with, and, you know, get some big names behind it and all that sort of thing. So it's not about Steve Bolton. It's about, you know, I think Bill and Melinda Gates were very clever in that they didn't say, this is just me. They said, oh, and Warren Buffett's doing it as well. You know, so then you're launching it with, you know, more high profile people and that sort of thing. So, yeah, so that's it, mate. Gary V, homelessness, Giving Promise.
Where do you see your people come from? So obviously, you know, you're sort of like in the property industry, you know, and there's a lot of industries. You know, you got music, entertainment, sports, finance, your technology, pharma. You know, there's a lot of people with a lot. I mean, you know, I know a lot of people like you do, who with a lot of money. You know, and they've got houses on 5 different continents, you know, and you know, they get executive directorships, pay them 6-figure sums, you know, and they've got a lot of free time. How do you aim to access that sort of person to get him to think, they want to, because you know, a lot of them, they've got there because they've got they're ego driven, you know, they've got an ego drive, you know, that's helped them get to where they are. So how do you position yourself where you can share your ego drive, you know, your situation with that, and it can come aboard and really feel the love?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think starting with my own network, right? People that already know me and trust me. So I've got a link into one of our franchise partners, Dad. He runs the philanthropy division for what's his name, Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle. Okay, so he basically runs the philanthropy, the whole kind of that side of things, the giving arm of what he does, and he's signed up to the Larry Ellison's signed up to the Giving Pledge, and the son just said, I can, you know, my dad is really interested in this when it's developed, if you want a meeting with him, so I'm going to meet him. I've already got a meeting with, there's a website called crowdfunder.co.uk, and they're like a just giving type website, quite big, worth serious amount of money. And I know the founder of that, and I just put this on link. I did a video on my Facebook group, and he just said, really like that Giving Promise idea. And I mean, I've literally put one video out, and I've had one guy come back say, I've got you all way into a billionaire, and you know, his philanthropy division. And then this crowdfunding guy says he had a vision of basically he set up the platform for people to donate to causes, right? And he looks after 70 ultra high net worth individuals that have given lots and lots of money. They almost give to every campaign. So going in through him, so my own network to start with. I've got the whole Peace One Day network, you know, with you know, lots of people there that are innocent, you know, fairly wealthy. Yeah, exactly. And then there's, you know, then you go into say UBS Bank or Coots or you know,
St.
Lloyd's
James's
private
Place.
banking, who are SJP and all that sort of stuff, you know,
yeah.
and then, yeah, exactly. You know, they've got philanthropy divisions and giving and people that set up trusts and that sort of stuff. You know, I've never had a problem, Kriss, networking, have I? And, you know, getting my foot in the door, getting what I want, having a big vision and making it happen. So, so it's just interesting, you know, building the team. So going back to, you know, your original question, it's like, it's been really busy. I've got some really big, significant goals that I know are, you know, stuff you talk about all the time, dreaming big, having a vision, all of that sort of stuff. And I've been waiting for 2 years, like a bus, you know, you wait bloody 2 years and then 3 come along at once. So I've got 3 really big, you know, big goals, as well as all the existing stuff. So, you know, I have to say, I did a video actually yesterday in the studio about balance, and I was just like, you know, balance is bullshit, basically. That I don't think anybody is ever in balance all the time, right? It's something we aspire to do and to have, but there are times when you know it from your athletics career, and especially when you're building something, you know, when you wanted to become a speaker and, you know, leather on the street and knocking on doors and doing speaking gigs and training, and that's what I feel like at the moment. It's just like I'm having to put in the really, you know, the hard graft, but still got that framework, make sure quality time with the family and kids at the weekend, still have my breaks, you know, 3 months holiday every year. So, so I'm so excited by it. Probably my biggest challenge at the moment is sleep. I'm just not, you know, my sleep, I had 2 hours sleep last night because I'm just so fired up with everything I'm doing. And I just know it's not good for me. Right. And I know it's not sustainable. So, you know, I've got some, I work with, don't know if you saw any of the stuff I did with Greg White. Do you know Greg from Comic and Sport Relief? So he's the guy behind all the Comic and Sport Relief challenges. He's the coach. He used to be research director for the British Olympic Association, set up a Harley Street practice, and then did help David Walliams, swam with David Walliams, got him across the channel. Eddie Izzard's marathons, he was the guy running with him, coaching him, giving him all the training. Lovely guy. So I've had him on a retainer for the whole year. He, no, you didn't see him. He flew out to Portugal. When you came out to Portugal, I think it was one of the ones you missed. But in the last month, I've done 2 Harley Street days with 30 partners each time. And we've gone to Harley Street. Greg's done a tour, taken us into practice. Said, if you've got cancer, if you've got this, what kind of test should you do? All of that sort of stuff. So he's a real world-class professional and has given me a way into Harley Street, you know, so got access to some of the best, because going back to that cancer thing, we've had 3 partners diagnosed with cancer in the last 2 months in PPP alone. 3, and 1 with motor neurones disease. It's terminal. You know, it's just like, you know, and that's why Richard and I started doing the health stuff 2 years ago, because we're like, shit, all these guys are only getting older. They're only going to have more and more issues. You know, prevention is better than cure, and, you know, all the stuff, you know. Yeah.
Well, what it is, it goes with the territory of the demographic that you are working with. Because I know we've got a youth-orientated, and I know people don't like it when I talk about death. But the fact is, when you get to 60 or towards 60, you're in the last third of life. It doesn't mean life can't be great, it can't be fantastic, and it will be great, it will be fantastic. But you've got to be aware that you are in that last third, and that something's going to get you, and it, you know, you can either prevent it or manage it if you get it early enough, so that you can enjoy 10, 15, 20, 25 years, or you can let it just pounce on you and catch you while you're running. You know, if I hadn't listened to Sarah Jane, I would be terminally ill in 3 or 4 years' time, and I would die at 67, 68 of cancer. And you know what? If you die at 67, 68, 69 of cancer, you can't say, shit, I haven't lived a long life, because originally 3 school years in time, so 3 school years and 10 was the allocated time for a human life. But we now know, with our technology, that if you catch the stuff like I've caught early and take it out, you can live well into your 80s, into your 90s, and beyond, right? But you've got to catch it early. And you catch it early by waking up that we live unto death, that actually, the moment you were born with this sentence, which you are very unlucky if it jumps you in your first 2/3. You are, you know, if you're 51 and you die of cancer, that is unlucky, mate. That's really unlucky, and it shouldn't be. Yeah. But that sentence is, and once you get to my age, it's coming. But like me now, certainly because now I'm on top of it, and it's done, it won't be cancer that gets me, unless I'm in my mid-80s. You know, it might be a heart attack, but it ain't going to be cancer. And now I'm awake to the fact that even I, and that's the thing, looking in the mirror and saying, yeah, even I, me, yes, I can get a life-threatening illness. Right. Yeah. You know what? I'm better than that, in as much as I've taken 60 years to gain all of this information and knowledge. Yeah. I've got a beautiful network of people in my life who I can serve. You know what? I'm going to take care of myself so I can do that, and doing what it takes to take care of them. And it's that is it, Steve. And I listen to you, and I listen to your bubbly and your energy and your enthusiasm and your ideas. It will be a travesty if you didn't do those because you forgot to take care of Steve Bolton.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, no, totally, mate, totally. And so I think my health in terms of food, exercise, all of that, really, really good. It's just the sleep one. And then all the scans and all that, Greg was I've had lots of different tests done, but, prostate, testicular cancer, all of those screens, all of those screens, absolutely fundamental. And the other thing Greg said, actually, which I really like, is just listen to your body, be in touch with your body. And actually, if something's aching or something just doesn't feel right, and when he said that, I was just like, actually, I watched some of my videos back from time to time. And I noticed I have indigestion quite a lot. I'm kind of burping. And so I'm like, I'm going to get some scans. Like, is something going on in my stomach that I don't know about, that's actually going to cause a problem if I don't, so just being in touch with your body and the little things that are wrong, and then prevention is better than cure.
And what I like, what I like about what you said there, Steve, which shows that you're aware, is, it's not just being in touch with your body. That's great. But then saying, I'm going to do something about it. Because it's very easy. And this is a man thing. Mm-hmm. It's very easy as a man to be in touch with your body, to notice it and go, that's interesting. And then get on with your task. Yeah. And then before you know it, a month is a year, is 5 years, and you got something. Mm-hmm. So what I like about what you said is that you're in touch with your body, you felt all this reflux and burping, blah, 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 and thought, I'm going to do something about it. And you're doing something about it. It's actually taking the action. That's important. And I know I talk to myself, Steve. I go running, and I've noticed I'm slowing down a little bit, and I get out of bed a little bit. It's just like, what, But it's actually, let's go and have an ECG, get yourself tested, make sure that your airways are right. And if you need a stint, get it done. Yeah. Rather than risk it, play roulette, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're on the floor. Yeah. And that's it, Steve. Totally right. And that's what, you need to be telling your mates. I need to be telling our mates. We need to be telling our network, PPP. Totally. Because, and I know people don't like it, but if you are in PPP, you generally, mid-50s, mid-60s, you're in the killing zone. But don't worry about it, because you've got another 20, 25, 30 years if you do what you said, Steve, listen to your body, but take the action.
Yeah, totally right. Are you, do you see any of my Facebook videos in my group?
I haven't, Steve, but I've got to start. No. I haven't.
Yeah, have a look. Okay, just, did you ever meet George Doldry, franchise partner?
No.
George, no. Okay, I did a video like this actually, and we'll share some of this. I'll get it edited and we'll share some of there's some really good messages in this, right? To do it very, very kindly, and his wife's diagnosed with motor neurone disease, and so it's like a 50-minute video.
Steve, I didn't hear you. Say again, Steve. I didn't hear you. I lost you. Say again.
So I did a video like this, recorded it, put it into my group, and George kindly agreed to do it. His wife has motor neurone disease. Average lifespan is 3 years, and it was just basically George wanting to say, look, we had everything, our properties, we were doing this, we were going to do more and more sort of stuff, but actually this happened, life-changing. So, we're seeing family a lot more. We do all the things that were on our bucket list that we were putting off, thinking, oh, we'll do it next year, we'll do it the year after, we'll do it the year after. And they're literally doing as much as they possibly can, spending, and it's just such a powerful video, like this one is, of somebody, your story is brilliant because it's something actually happened to you. I'm trying to be preventative and nothing's happened to me yet, touch wood, but I think the more people hear this message and, everybody knows prevention is better than cure. Yeah, of course it is. Intellectually, we all get it, but who actually bloody acts on it? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Start taking that action.
I know, Stevie, what you just said there as well. I'm going to say this. Forget the bucket list. If you get to 60, forget the bucket list. It's I'm doing list. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it because again, you know, I'm 60. I've got energy and enthusiasm. I can do a lot of things. The other day I had my house full of my kids and my grandkids, which for a lot of the people, fans upon us, they do that every day. I've not done that. I'm very, very busy. But I really enjoyed the joy of having my children all in my house, grandchildren, children, etc. Doing it. Just do it. You know, stop talking about I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it, because you're gonna get a call, and it's not macabre. It's reality. You're going to come up to what's called a limit situation. Something's going to limit your life, and it's going to put you in a direction that's going to limit your life. Do stuff. Don't have any excuses. And it's not, you know, no one's trying to scare you. Just listen and do it. It's your life. Do it. Enjoy it. Live it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. You've earned the right to enjoy it and embrace it. And we are so, so lucky in the world that we live in, that we, as a society, have come together, and we've decided that me as an individual, have a right to my life, to liberty, freedom, prosperity, and happiness. We've agreed that, so do it. Now you can enjoy your life, your liberty, your prosperity, and your happiness. Do it. Do it. And part of that is taking care of your health so you can do it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Mate, love it. Love it. Love it.
Fabulous, Steve. Fabulous. Always good to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too. You too. What else is going on for you then? Yeah.
Well, I've got a partner, which is lovely for the first time in a long time. So you know, I'm exploring myself in another dimension, and that's really you know, really important for me, because this is one, again, it's about me not having to do this. Not, you know, oh, one day I'll get round to sort myself out, but recognizing that if I was going to have a partner, a life partner, I was going to have to bite the bullet, make the decision to be vulnerable. Because I've used the excuse all my life, oh, my mum abandoned me when I was 4, and I've had bad relationships with women, you know, and I've got divorced. I've had all these excuses not to get into a relationship, and not to trust women, and then just to have casual relationships with women, you know, and they've all been happy for the casual relationship, great. But what I recognised as I approached my 60th birthday is that something else is missing. There are experiences that you have with a committed partner that you can't experience when you have many partners. And so I put the bullet, and I met this woman who I felt I could feel safe and secure with, who I could risk my vulnerability with, that I could be, when I say be me with, what I mean is be open to the fact that I am very immature and inexperienced in relationships, and that I'm going to say things that might be unflattering, not because I want to hurt you, but because that's the way I think and the way that I am. And if you can embrace me as I am, we can go on a journey and do what I call, and it's from a guy called Eric Fromm, standing in love each day and every day. I'm not falling in love with this woman. I'm not asking her to fall in love with me, but I'm asking her every morning to reaffirm, do I want to have this day with this man? And whether that's, you know, and I like, you know, the way that I do love is quality time, so that when I'm in, you know, when I'm with her, I'm not with my phone, I'm not with Stevie Bolton, I'm not with my kids, you know, I'm with her. But then when I'm not with you, I'm with my phone, I'm with my kids, I'm with my business. And you got to understand that you know, I'm not going to be, if the phone calls, it's her, I'm with Stevie Bolton, or I'm with my kids. As you need to know, I'm an all or nothing guy. But she, and to stand in love with that guy. And even though sometimes it hurts and it stretches and we're at our limits, she needs to reaffirm like I need to reaffirm. And I'm really enjoying that journey of self-discovery. Because that's a real big thing for me, because it's something that I've not done for a very long time, if I've ever done it at all. So that's really powerful.
Amazing. Awesome,
yeah, it really is. It's really, really lovely. And I'm really enjoying my studies. You know, that's really opened up new avenues and new reflections and new understandings of myself. And I think, you know, above all else, really honouring this journey. You know, I said this to my ex-wife. It's my birthday, so I spoke to my ex-wife. And I said to my ex-wife, if I had a choice, and this is going to sound awful, but if I had a choice, I would rather have not been born. Because if I'd not been born, I wouldn't know anything, and I would have no hopes, fears, etc. But now that I have been born, I really want to enjoy this journey. And so, you know, my studies in existentialism is allowing me to ask myself about the nature of being and the next journey. And what a beautiful journey it is. Honestly, Steve, you know, I've had this time with you here.
Yeah.
I love it, Steve. I just love having this. I love it, mate. I love it. And so I'm enjoying this journey of self-discovery, of self-reflection, of just being, of what the Germans call of Dasein, being here, there, fully embracing myself. And I'm just loving it, Steve. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah, it shows, mate. It really does. Yeah, you're on fire. You are on fire. I mean, you're always on fire, but you're on fire with a level of depth I don't think I've heard you speak with before, actually. So it's lovely to see. Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Really,
so
really
there you go. Yeah, you know, with PPP, I've got my 2 houses, not got onto my 3rd yet, and I've got to decide what I'm doing because you know I've got a bit of money there, but I was just again, you know, sometimes you get passionate about something, and you want to do it, but my passion is in my studies and in my partner, in my family, and what I realised that was, you know, I'm not passionate about my houses. Jane's doing it, but she's not doing it passionately. One of the franchise partners has said he'll do it for me passionately.
Yeah.
So the question is whether I go with him and allow him to run it for me passionately, and then if I do, whether I go and build 2 or 3 more properties, or whether you know I'm happy they clean their backside. I'm not worried. There's no worry there, but I realise I'm not passionate about it.
Yeah.
So that's something I've got to think about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think I've never been passionate about it. Right, the property stuff for me, never. I mean, I love it met a lot of my human needs, initially, because you get the learning, you know, the challenge, the recognition, contribution, all of those sorts of things, you know, growth and development. It brings security. So if you look at it on a Tony Robbins 6 human needs scale, certainty and variety. Well, if you do it from an income point of view, you get certainty, you get variety in the early stages because it's part of the learning. You get some recognition, tenants are happy, giving work to builders, all that sort. So it ticks the 6th thing: connection, growth, and then contribution. But over time, it's just like, okay, got the certainty, don't need the recognition from my tenants and from my house. I know they work, and somebody else can kind of do that, you know. So I don't. So you find there's no variety, or there's very little variety, or the variety that there is longer term is, you know, toilets and tenants, right? Which is not, it's not the kind of variety that anybody really looks forward to, if they're honest. Because it's rare you get tenants phoning you up saying, Kriss, love the house, mate. Thanks for putting me up for the last 6 months. It was awesome. You know, occasionally you get that, but normally it's a broken bloody shower or a, you know, washing machine or whatever. So for me, it's always like, I'm passionate about what it does for people. I'm passionate about the financial security and base that it's given me and lots of other people. But actually, it's quite mechanical that, you know, I still invest in property now, commercial, but other people do it. You know, I don't. Richard, my business partner, has a passion and a skill for commercial property that I will never have. It's not, I'm a people person like you. You know, we're similar. Whatever colours we are, we're similar in some of the colours on, you know.
Yellow, red,
Yeah, exactly. So, so for me, it's always been, once I passed that stage of the learning, know how to do it, been there, done it, got the t-shirt, it was like, right, still want the outcome, financial security, but somebody else can do it, and I'll just provide the money, you know, the money for it. So I think it's, you know, if it's a sound investment decision for you, and you've got the money to do it compared to other things, and you can do it, you would be able to do it virtually passively. You know, you just literally be able to say, right, buy me something in this area. You pay them a fee for the refurb, normally 10% of the refurb. They manage everything, all the refurb, everything. You can be as involved or not as you want to. And then you pay a fee, normally between 10 and 15% for the ongoing lettings amount. Well, you've got Jane anyway, haven't you? So if they were bought,
I've got Jane. But
Jane, you've got Jane, yeah. But if she doesn't want to do anymore, then
she's not doing it anymore.
No, fine, okay, fine.
So you know, she'd say, you know, if at 7:30, when she gets the telephone call in the evening, when she gets the telephone call, my shower's broken, she'd rather be curled up with her husband watching TV.
Right.
And I get that.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
that's fine. Yeah.
So
I think you either stop where you know your choices are obviously you either sell, you either stop where you are. Jane keeps doing it. You stop where you are. Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily passionate about, but you know, I mean, she's doing a job and she's happy to do it, and and it's working. Then it you know, it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. But if you want to kick on, then it's a partner, somebody that you can pay, you know, and do a deal. If you've got somebody and you want a sounding, you know, just run it by me. Just say, this is the kind of deal. These are the terms. I've got. You
know him, Mark Greening.
Yeah. Mark's a great guy. Yeah, I met Mark. He's a lovely guy.
Right. So I've got my own trust issues, nothing to do with Mark. Yeah. So my own trust issues that I've got to deal with. But Mark has said to me, Kriss, I'll take any properties.
Okay.
He said to me, look, I'll take your properties. If you want to build another property, I'll do it for you. You know, I'll do the refurb. I'll do everything for you. I mean, and he's talking somewhere between 5 and 10%, depending upon what I want him to do. He wants to build homes in camps. So it'll be his homes and my homes. And there's another guy there's 3 of us now in the area. And leave it to me, he just said. I'll do it. I'll do everything. You don't need to worry. Yeah. Just pay me to do it and I'll do it for you. But I've got to be able to trust. And it's not Mark. It's another human being is going to do this. And the enlightened self-interest is going to mean that he's going to want to keep my properties fully occupied, not his. Sure. Not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can, you know, there's 2 ways of doing that. One is structuring the agreement in such a way that he's incentivized to do it like that. Okay. You know, so it can be done contractually. That's one way to kind of deal with it. Or you can deal with it, well, actually, you know, he's a good bloke. Look at his occupancy levels. Look at the occupancy levels around the network. Know there's him, there's his wife, Debs. You know, that they are trusted people. But then you've also got the backstop of PPP, that if anything didn't work or you found bloody hell occupancy's down, there's a problem, then it's on the blower to head office and say, right, you can put a cap in there, right? There's loads of different ways you can do it. You can sort of say, look, okay, so you're going to run it, but what I want is I want a minimum room rate of this level, and I want a minimum occupancy of that level. And if you don't achieve that, then there's a big penalty. Yeah, right. There's a big financial penalty. So you can just structure it in a way where the commercial agreement is so that it's fair, and it's just like, look, this is a concern. What if you look after what if the market gets tight for tenants? You want to look after your properties and fill yours, and my occupancy goes down to 70%.
Yes, exactly.
Can't have that, mate. Can't have that. So how about this as a kind of cap, that if my occupancy falls below 95 or 90 or whatever, and the room rates go below that, then actually you don't you don't get any. You get 0 lettings fee. So he's like, shit, you know, what's the point of me doing the work? Well, so simple solutions to it.
Okay, good. And that's very helpful, Steve, because I mean, obviously I've got a track record. You know,
totally.
We've got all that. You know, we do our returns monthly, so we've got a track record, so we know what my occupancy rates are.
Yep.
And as I said, Jane will do it, but she'd rather somebody else do it. Mark is happy to do it. I know he's got expertise, and he's a business builder. You know, he had Subway. He's in PPP. He's in the PEP. Do you call it the big PPE?
Yeah, PPP. Yeah.
He's in that as well. Yeah. So e-commerce. So he's a business builder, and you know, I met him for the first time in a different way when I met him, and I thought, oh, actually, I do see. You know, he's more what I call green human side. He's more softer side. oh, maybe I can't go with him. So, this has been very helpful. If I structure the deal so that he knows I want to trust him, he knows it's not. I'm not trusting him. I'm the person who has trust issues, and that he needs to make sure that I feel safe and secure and not vulnerable in a relationship. Then great. And then before we know it, okay, I've had 6 months like that. Let's build a property because I've got money, and also I can get money. I can get money. So let's build some more properties. Okay, or I can give him money to build his property portfolio. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, no, exactly right. Exactly, and all the legal agreements are already in place with PPP. So the refurb man, we've got a thing called affinity partner, which is basically somebody's got money, they want to team up with a franchise partner, they don't know them from Adam, they're not even a PPP franchise partner, somebody from the outside world, and it's like we're the honest broker, PPP, and we match make, but then we also put the legal frameworks in place where there's refurb. This is the kind of spec, it gets attached, here's the agreement, this is what the payment's going to be. If you overspend, this is what's going to happen. So that's a solid agreement in place that's used by a number of people. Then there's a professional lettings agreement that we've had drafted, and that again, so the legal stuff's there. Mark's worked with other investors that I know within the PPP network. I've mentored him for the last 12, 18 months. Top bloke, absolutely. Like most PPP partners, absolutely top bloke, lovely family, hardworking, diligent, trustworthy, conscientious. I mean, he really, he puts in the hours, and what he did with his Subway business, so conscientious, really is. So, and you're in a great area as well, Kriss, right? It's not like you're not like you're having to buy houses at 600 grand and get in 600 quid a month, So you're getting really good rents for the value of the property.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I know that. No, I know that. Yeah. And all the stuff you said about his diligence and hard work, you see that. I know that. Yeah. I mean, from the moment I met him, you can tell this guy's a businessman who wants to do well. He really wants to do well. So the issues are my own issues. That's great, Steve. Yeah,
that's good. And I wouldn't hang about because he's got more. I spoke to him the other day. Got another 350 grand from somebody. Wants to buy a house for cash, and him to run it. So there's only so many that he's able to do. So I'd not necessarily lock it down, but just say, look, I am seriously interested. Let's get into some of the detail or whatever. So even if you said it's going to be in 6 months' time or 12 months' time or whatever. So good, mate. Okay. You got 1 o'clock, haven't you?
I've got 1 o'clock here. I've got 1 o'clock. So
awesome.
Steve, lovely talking to you, mate. And
always,
great
mate.
To feel you. And let's do
it more often, man.
Again.
Definitely.
And let's meet up as well. All right.
Yeah, love to, man.
Cheers, Steve. God bless you, mate. Keep it going, mate.
All right. Cheers, Kriss.
Bye-bye.
Bye.